Miles, this way. Oh! Did I get you with my web? That's who I am for Halloween. I'm Miles Morales. If you don't know, he is Spider-Man. He's actually the African-American version of Spider-Man. Peter Parker's good friend who turns into Spider-Man. We got Halloween tomorrow. We got a lot, actually, that happened. UNLV, our Las Vegas Raiders, they both got smacked around, so we'll recap those games. We'll look forward to what's coming up this weekend, as well as the election is coming up actually on Tuesday, so I thought, vote for whoever you're affiliated with or whoever you want to be associated with, but either way, make your voice heard and be the change. It's episode 14 of Heat and Low. Alright, so let's kick it off with our Las Vegas Raiders. They played this last Sunday afternoon. It was supposed to be the Sunday night game, but it got replaced arguably with the better game. It was Seattle and Arizona. Arizona ended up winning a crazy one in overtime. They're a dangerous team to watch with Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins. It was Seattle's first loss, divisional game, and so our game got replaced with that. But like I said, at the end of the day, I don't think you can really argue, because when you look at the score of the Raiders and the Buccaneers, 45-20, that's not indicative of how the game actually went. It was a one-possession game going into the fourth quarter. It was actually the Raiders got within 4. It was 24-20, and then after that, the Buccaneers just let loose on offense. They scored 21 points in the fourth quarter, outscoring the Raiders 21-3. And, that was pretty much all she wrote on that. Tom Brady did outplay Derek Carr. He finished 33 of 45, 369 yards and 4 touchdowns, while Derek Carr was 24 of 36, 284 yards with 2 TDs and 1 interception. Now, his 2 touchdowns were to the veteran Nelson Aguilar and his other kind of big tight end, Darren Waller, or receiver. I don't know what you want to classify him as. He's a great player, but I think for Derek Carr, he needs to open it up a little bit more. Henry Ruggs, obviously, where did he go? Hunter Renfrow, was a big part of the offense last year. Derek Carr Josh Jacobs struggled. He had 17 total yards off 10 carries. No touchdowns. He's kind of in a bit of a sophomore slump, so hopefully he can get out of that, because like I said, I think the Raiders actually play better as far as he goes. But I think, this Bucs team is really good. Actually, I just read on SB Nation that the Raiders have had the toughest schedule to start out. Through the first 6 games, they've had the toughest schedule. And remember, I knew that. I predicted they were going to go 1-5 in the first 6 games, and they split it 3-3. Not too bad. But the SB Nation does say they have the 3rd easiest schedule the rest of the way, and that is what I said. The schedule lightens up a lot after this. But this weekend, they're taking on the Cleveland Browns, who you look up, and they're 5-2. The Cleveland Browns, this was a team that once was the bottom of the barrel. They were the laughing stock of the NFL. But you have Baker Mayfield. You have Jarvis Landry. Nick Chubb, Myles Garrett on defense. You Kareem Hunt, who was formerly with the Kansas City Chiefs. Odell Beckham Jr., who, if you didn't hear already, is out for the season with a torn MCL. So that's a huge loss for them, and I obviously feel devastated. I never like to see a player get injured. But let's kind of go over, what this matchup entails. The Browns have beat, the Bengals twice. They beat the Washington football team, the Colts, and the Cowboys. The only 2 teams they lost to were within the division. They lost game 1 to the Baltimore Ravens 38-6, and then they lost a couple weeks ago to the lone undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers 38-7. So both of those games they got handled, but those are 2 of the best teams in their division. So it's not shocking. The AFC North is actually pretty competitive this year. And so, now with we knew, what we were going to get with like the Ravens. Steelers have kind of been a surprise. I know what Big Ben is capable of and stuff, but, to tell, like, if I were to tell you, oh, they're going to go 6-0, so far, I didn't think that. And so, that's huge for them. Baker Mayfield has been playing great. In place of Odell Beckham, they still, like I mentioned, have Jarvis Landry. They also have Rashard Higgins. He stepped up for them. Now, Baker Mayfield last week against the Bengals had 5 touchdowns. The Raiders just allowed 4 to Tom Brady. And so the defense is the real thing, the real question mark for the Raiders. It's, the offense, it's give and take again. It's up to Derek Carr. He goes as they go. It's really kind of the Raiders go as Josh Jacobs goes. I feel like if Josh Jacobs plays well, the Raiders tend to have better momentum, can open it up. And I think that's going to be the key against the Browns. Now we're facing a stingy defense. A defense that's ranked 30th in the league, but a stingy player in terms of Myles Garrett, who, if you don't remember, was on probation or whatever last year when he removed the helmet of, I can't remember his name, but he was the backup quarterback for the Steelers, and he just smacked him with it. And it was like, wow, this dude, what is wrong with you? But he's back, and he actually leads the NFL with 9 sacks this season. So it's going to be tough. Derek Carr was sacked 3 times by Tampa Bay's Devin White this last weekend, and we weren't able to get pressure on Tom Brady. So that's going to be a big thing for the defense. They need to try and get pressure on Baker Mayfield, and on the other side, they need to protect Derek Carr, and Derek Carr just needs to do a better job of facilitating more. Yes, Nelson Aguilar has scored in the last 3 games, and that's great. And Darren Waller's been the guy. But again, get Ruggs going again. Get Hunter Renfrow again. Where's Jason Witten at? He had 1 reception for 6 yards. That's lackluster. Josh Jacobs is the key. I know I say Derek Carr is the key, and everything. Derek Carr, yes, he needs to prove himself, and I think he's done a quality job so far through these first 6 games. But Josh Jacobs, again, if he gets going, if he gets a couple touchdowns, he has 5 touchdowns this year, but in 2 games he had 3 of them in week 1 against the Panthers, and then 2 of them before the bye when they beat the Chiefs. So I think out of 6 games you've scored in 2 of them. He needs to get into the end zone more for this offense to really gel, in my opinion. This is going to be a huge game this weekend, against the 5-2 Browns. But after this, it gets light. We start playing, some of the weaker teams in our division, the Chargers. Don't second guess Justin Herbert. The Broncos. These are going to be tough matchups, but these are matchups that the Raiders should win. If they've proven they can beat, the Saints and the Panthers and the Chiefs, the best team in their division. So, and they could hang with the Buccaneers. Again, they've had the toughest schedule so far, but it lightens up now. So this is really, I predicted they're going to finish 10-6. They're 3-3 right now. I definitely think they should be. There's no reason for this team not to be in the playoffs. So we're going to have to continue to see what happens. But this weekend, we got to get back on track. The game is in Cleveland, so they're traveling. But Josh Jacobs, we gotta get some traction with him. He's having a bit of a sophomore slump. He's going to be a big running back in this league. I can already predict it. He's just struggling right now. But get him more touches, get him into the end zone, and I think that's going to open up the rest of the offense. So, Raiders, if you hear me, feed Josh Jacobs. Feed him. So, the Raiders weren't the only ones to suffer a tough loss. UNLV, I think coming in with just a lot of momentum with, new management, new head coach coming over from Oregon, Marcus Arroyo, a lot of promise. But we lost Armani Rogers. He transferred to Ohio this offseason. And so we're left with like this quarterback carousel. You got three of them on the roster. Who are you going to start? Arroyo's not saying anything. They decided to go with the senior, Max Gilliman. And but actually, all three quarterbacks got to play as well. Justin Rogers and Kenyon Oblad had a short stint, but Gilliam, since he was the starter, he finished 13 of 21 for 105 yards and 1 touchdown to receiver Steve Jenkins. On the other side, SDSU's quarterback, Carson Baker, had 137 yards in 1 TD. It was really the running backs from San Diego State. 4 of them had 40-plus yards, including the starter Greg Bell had 111 of them. So they were kind of just running all over the defense. UNLV's Charles Williams, who's the running back, had 80 yards off 19 rushes. Not too bad, but the Aztecs offense had a field day. And according to some reports, they didn't even show their full arsenal. So they were up 27-0 at half. Obviously, the end score was 34-6. And, it was really rough for UNLV, but a lot of people are saying, they expect San Diego State to be the best team in the conference. So, hey, if we're going to get smacked around by the best team in the conference, I think it makes sense. And I think, don't start writing off Arroyo or, this was just such a waste of time or whatever. It takes time. It's going to take time to figure out a rhythm and get the quarterback situation correct and the defensive schemes. It's going to take some time. For us to just expect, it was just going to happen right out the gate is a little silly, in my opinion. So, I think, again, just give it some time and we'll see what happens. Now, this weekend, actually tomorrow night, the Rebels will be at Allegiant Stadium, debut game for them. They're going to allow fans. It's the Cannon game. It's Reno. 2,000 tickets have been sold, and they've been sold out. Not surprising. I know a lot of people probably just want to get into the stadium, experience it, and with the Raiders not having anybody, it's going to be exciting. So that's good. That's a good crowd for UNLV. Now, UNR came off a win, actually, against Wyoming in overtime, and UNLV hung on to beat UNR last year in overtime. They had a 17-point lead and, gave it up, ended up winning in overtime by 3. Carson Strong, who was UNR's quarterback, finished last week 420 yards with 4 TDs as a sophomore. He's a sophomore, and he did that. So UNLV is going to have to change up the defensive scheme. He was named the Offensive Player of the Week, not surprising. And again, it's going to take time. Looking at that, I don't think we're going to beat UNR. I think they're going to take the Cannon, paint it blue. I'm optimistic. I want to believe in them. I'm saying the wrong things. I believe in them. But I think it's just going to take time. I think Reno kind of has this system down. They have their quarterback down. And you're looking at what the defense did, or didn't do, I guess I should say, in San Diego State's case. I think for UNR, it might be another field day. So I hope that's not the case. But, Allegiant Stadium debut, I hope that they get to show out, and I hope UNLV finds a way to win. So boys, I know you can do it, and I believe in you. I'm sorry for saying it. I don't, but I do. Okay, so like I did last week, I thought, this could be a little trend that we do, where I leave you with a couple questions to answer. And so my questions for this week, first, let's go with the Raiders. For Derek Carr, who would you like to see him get more involved in the offense? I'm saying Josh Jacobs. I think, again, when Josh Jacobs gets going, that's when this Raider team gets going. And so I think, run the ball. But if that's not working, get him out to a couple, screen plays. Give him some passes. Let him churn up yards and and hopefully that can turn into drives and touchdown drives and everything. So for me, I'm gonna say get Josh Jacobs involved, but I want to know who is the one player offensively you would love to see Derek Carr integrate more into the offense. Now, when it comes to UNLV, let's just go score prediction. Actually, let's not even go score prediction. Let's just say what color do you believe the cannon will be after tomorrow night? Obviously, I want it to be red, but I just think it's gonna be blue. Please. It's just what I think. So what do you think? Red for UNLV, that means obviously they win and keep it red, or is it gonna be blue and that means Reno wins? So those are my two questions that I am going to leave you with. I hope you have a fantastic week. Remember, election coming up. Vote with your affiliated party and make your voice heard now more than ever with everything we've been through, and especially this year, and it's been crazy and exhausting for some of us. On the other side, on a lighter note to keep you with, I told you Ariana Grande, her 6th studio album, Positions, is out now. Trust me, I will be listening to all of it. Hopefully, she's got some bangers on there. I mean, obviously, Positions to me is, I love that song, so we'll have to wait and see. I got to promote her. So, anyway, take care of yourselves, and I will speak to you again next week. Thank you, next.